Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video I haven't really wanted to do because it seems kind of boring and probably won't get many views, but it's actually been requested quite a lot in my comments over the years. So today we're going to talk all about tools. I'm going to show you all the different pliers I use, what brands I prefer, where I get my wire, etc. So we'll start with pliers I use most often. These are called bent chain nose pliers, and I have a kind of cheaper pair here, and then also I have these more expensive ones, which I'll explain here in a few minutes. As you can see, these are exactly as described. They are bent at the tip. This pair is made by BeadSmith, and they're a pretty good starter pair. If you intend to get into wire wrapping more professionally and want to invest more in your supplies, I highly recommend this ergonomic brand called Lindstrom. These pliers can be $50 to $60, but it's well worth it when you're using them daily. They have a wider handle, they're a little more flexible, and they're also a little softer, which is just going to feel much better in your hands. The next kind of pliers that are good to have around is flat nose pliers, and again, they're exactly as described. I have 3 different brands here. And if you can't afford the more expensive ergonomic pliers, you should at least try to get pliers with thicker, softer handles if possible. They're just so much easier on the palm of your hands as you work. And these Lindstrom ones are my favorite, not just because of the handles, but because the tips are actually really thin. Try to get these in focus for you. Alright, the next type of pliers you absolutely must have, of course, are wire cutters, specifically flush cutters. These are very fine-tipped cutters. They give you the most precision with cleanly snipping your wires. This brand is Xuron, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I gotta be honest, this grip slides down as you can see, and I was always having to push them back up. And this one is the opposite problem on the other side. The metal actually poked out, and that was like stabbing me in the hand. This is actually my second pair because the first pair had the same issue, so be aware of that with this brand of flush cutters. And of course, my go-to would be the Lindstrom flush cutters that I have now. Next type of plier is going to be tweezer nose or pointed nose pliers. These ones are specifically micro pliers, and these are just great for getting into really tight spaces. And these Xurons have been just fine as far as the grips on the handles go. Alright, the next type of plier I consider essential is round nose pliers. Lindstrom does make round nose pliers, but I haven't bought any yet because these handles are actually very comfortable. As you can see, they're thick and soft and wide, and I haven't had any problems with them causing any pain in my palms like I have with other pairs. And these are great for making small loops. And then of course we have our bailing pliers, which I use a lot. These are BeadSmith, and these are for making bails on pendants, and of course I use them for all kinds of other purposes on my various projects. The next type of plier I have isn't necessarily an essential, but it is convenient to have. That's nylon pliers. These are called double jaw chain nose pliers, and these are great for straightening kinked wire. And these BeadSmith pliers actually have removable nylon tips, so you can replace them when they get kind of tore up like mine are. You just unscrew them and pop them off and then put the new ones on, which I obviously need to do. Okay, next pair that aren't essential but are nice to have are bracelet bending pliers, and these are exactly what they sound like. I'm not sure what exactly this brand is, but I'll put the Amazon link in the description. All the links to these tools will be in the description, by the way. Alright, so those are all the different kinds of pliers that I use. Next, we're going to go over some other tools I consider to be essential for my wire wrapping. And the first essential is going to be a jewelry hammer and bench block. I use a stainless steel bench block, and you want a jewelry hammer that has a round side and a flat side. The flat side is obviously going to be for flattening and strengthening wire, and the round side is going to be for texturing wire. Now, I get asked about this hammer a lot. People want to know where to buy one, but unfortunately it can't be purchased because it's actually custom. My late stepfather worked with leather, and this was originally his hammer. My mom gave it to me when he passed away, but the rubber handle had basically disintegrated, so I eventually sent it down to a buddy of mine in Denver who works with wood and had him make me a custom handle for it. So it's kind of a sentimental special piece for me. Before I had this one made, I just had a regular jewelry hammer that I bought from Amazon. Again, you just want something with a round side and a flat side. Another essential tool to have is a ring mandrel, specifically one with the sizes labeled on it, for obvious reasons I would hope. Another kind of ring mandrel that's good to have is a metal one. I use this to hammer and strengthen rings. And of course I have other mandrels of different shapes. I can use these for frames for pendants and earrings. These I believe are BeadSmith and come in a kit of 4 different shapes. There's also a triangle one and a square one, but I couldn't find them when I was making the video. Another kind of tool that's great to have is actually a dental tool, specifically these ones with these micro thin tips. I like to use these when I'm weaving and my base wires are starting to get a little close together and I need to gently pull them apart to keep weaving. Another thing I keep handy is a set of metal files. I use these to smooth down sharp ends on wire, and I also have a few grades of fine sandpaper for smoothing ends and edges. Another tool you can use for smoothing and rounding ends is called a cup burr, and this has a little cupped end here, and you stick your wire into it and use the handle to spin it like this. I personally prefer the files and sandpaper, but some people really like the results they get with the cup burr. Another thing I like to keep handy are bead reamers. I mostly just use these 2 thin ones. And these are basically just round metal files for the inside of your beads. If you have a bead that doesn't quite fit onto a certain gauge of wire, you can gently work the reamer through to widen the hole. And these are, oh, that one's faded. These are BeadSmith. Another good tool to have is some kind of clamp you can use to hold base wires together while you're weaving. This is just from the hardware section at Walmart. And this isn't necessarily an essential tool, but boy does it make life easier. This is the coiling gizmo. It attaches to your work surface and you put your little coiler handle through it and you can coil wire in a matter of minutes, whereas doing it by hand can take much longer. Some old school wrappers consider it cheating, but I personally see it as just working smarter instead of harder. Another good thing to have is a Dremel tool with polishing attachments. These are the attachments that I use. And of course I use this to clean up my oxidized pieces before their final polish with the cloth. And the cloth I like best for polishing is the Sunshine cloth. These are a little pricey, but I believe they're worth it. Alright, last but not least is probably our most important component to wire wrapping, the wire. I get all my round copper wire from Amazon. Also get all my silver colored artistic wire from Amazon. And then I get all of my square wire, all of my half round wire, all of my sterling silver wire, and all of my strip wire from riogrande.com. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to help me make more of these tutorials, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. If you want to support me monetarily, you can purchase my jewelry and art at the Works of Wyoming website, which is linked in the description. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, feel free to share pictures or videos of your creations with me. I love to see what my tutorials inspire. And if you don't follow me on those platforms, make sure to do so because I post lots of fun content on TikTok and IG that you won't see here on my YouTube channel. And I just want to end by saying, have a fantastic day and remember to love your neighbor as yourself and in all things, treat others as you want to be treated, for this is the law and the prophets. God bless you guys and I hope to see you in the next video.